Hello. Hello.
Second year, English. And I need the board work also, PPT. No board work, only the PPT. No, not first year, second year. Like first year being, this is first year. Second year. It was on the desktop only. One I saw English. But which one? English. No, pre-final, no. This is old one. Huh? Oh, Kahe? Desktop पर कोई नहीं बोल रहा बोल रहे देखो this yesterday we started with this only this winter the huh 8 passages over all this over then what was the 12 नहीं उससे पहले ninth one this we finish after this next is question then next Fine. Okay, thank you. Started. Good morning, students. We are back again to take the English class for the second year. Yesterday, we had been doing the comprehension and we'll carry forward with the comprehension. But before that, I wanted to show you what a form is. You remember? You remember that we had taken, I had explained to you about the fob. This is a fob. It's a pocket watch which is kept in the pocket and the chain which is tied to the shirt button. So this is a fob, children. I hope you have understood. In olden days, this was the way they did not have wristwatch. Later on, wristwatches came, and that is why it is not called as watch, but wristwatch. It is worn on the wrist. Likewise, the spectacles. Previously, spectacles used to come on a long handle. Later on, because it was difficult, you had to carry it in one hand, and when you wanted to do some work, it was difficult. And that's when the pins slings came into pins because it is put on the nose. It pinches the nose, and that's why the word pin slings. Later on, spectacles came, making everything very easy. And those people who are very busy and need a lot of spectacles, but they have a tendency. Usually the middle-aged old people, they keep the spectacles somewhere and cannot find it on time. And that's when they put a ribbon or a black tape around the spectacles so that it hangs on the neck. It's different with the changing of times, different items come, making life easier for everyone. So now coming back to the comprehension, this is also from your non-detailed. It is Dr. Raman's, a doctor's work about Dr. Raman and Gopal. We had already done this. So this passage, usually non-detailed comprehension children, you must know the name of the lesson and the name of the author. Though in the passage it won't be written, you have to know because they will ask you the questions which are not shown in the passage but related to the lesson. So here, let me continue with the passage. The lady felt giddy and sank down on the floor, unable to bear the strain. The nurse attended to her and led her out. At about 8 in the evening, the patient opened his eyes and stirred slightly in bed. The assistant was overjoyed. He exclaimed enthusiastically, "Sir, he will pull through." The doctor looked at him coldly and whispered, "I would give anything to see him through. But the heart." So here, this, as you know, is from the lesson, Doctor's Word, and it is written by R.K. Narayan. The lady over here mentioned is Gopal's wife. Gopal was sick, and after 3 months of the after 3 months, he happened to see Gopal's son and then realized that Gopal had not been, he hadn't seen him for the past 3 months. When he comes home, he finds him almost unconscious. He gives him an injection and he recovers slightly, but he is still very sick. And it's only after 8 o'clock that he opens his eyes. So if you know the story, it is very easy for you to write the question and answer the question and answers given in the passage. So let's start with the first question. Who does the phrase the lady refer to in the passage? Like I told you, since it's a non-detailed lesson, it is not mentioned. It's just given the lady felt giddy. So you should know from which lesson. It is from a doctor's word, and the lady referred to here is Gopal's wife. She is Gopal's wife. Why did she sink down on the floor? This is a direct question. Already the answer is in the passage. Unable to bear the strain. Unable to bear the strain. She was worried about her husband. He had not been doing well for a long time and lay unconscious. So why did she sing? She was unable to bear the strain when she realized that her husband was very sick. When did the patient open his eyes? He opened his eyes at about 8 in the evening. So simple, children, you don't even have to write the full answer. You needn't mention the patient opened his eyes at about 8 in the evening. Just write the answer, you will get full marks. Don't waste your time answering the full question. Why was the assistant overjoyed? Because he felt the patient would pull through. Here you have to write in your own words. Because here he has mentioned, sir, he will pull through. You can't write that. So the assistant was overjoyed because he felt the patient would pull through or recover. Pull through here meaning recover. Analyze the word enthusiastically into its root and suffix. What is a suffix? Suffix is the additional that is written to the root word. Model he has given slightly. Slight is the root word and suffix is ly. Ly is the suffix. Likewise, you have to write enthusiast. This is the root word plus IAS suffix plus IC, another suffix plus ALLY. So this is how you go about separating the root word from the suffix. Prefix is what is added earlier. Like say, is the prefix long. Across. So this is the prefix and this is the root word. So this is how you go about whether it is a prefix or a suffix. You have to separate the root word so that you can write it correctly. Next, write the phrasal verb from the passage that means get better after a serious illness. I already mentioned recover. That is pull through. That is the phrasal verb which means get better after a serious illness. So did you all understand, children? Comprehension is very easy for you to score full marks. Like I said, there are 6 questions asked. You needn't even answer all the 6 words. Sorry, you're not supposed to answer all the 6 answers, but please, it only takes you a minute. Attempt all the 6. You are not penalized. Marks will be still given on 4, but in case you give a wrong answer, you stand to lose a mark. So attempt all the 6 answers. Now coming to the next. This is an unseen passage. Ready, steady, go. The referee announced the beginning of the race. A basket of sweets was placed near a tree, and the participating African tribal children were made to stand 100 meters away. The winner of the race would get all the sweets in the basket. Everyone there was anxious to see the winner. To their surprise, all the participants held one another's hand, ran together towards the tree, and divided the sweets equally among themselves. When the amazed referee asked why they did so, all of them cried in one voice, Ubuntu, which meant, how can one be happy when the others are sad? Ubuntu in their language means I am because we are. It's a strong message for all the generations. Let's all have this attitude and spread happiness wherever we go. It's a beautiful anecdote, children. Here it says how all of us can enjoy the fruits instead of envying others, fighting among yourselves, or just participating to win is not the criteria. You have to see that even others are benefited. So now, what was the target in the race? It was a basket of sweets. A basket of sweets was the target. To which country did the participants belong? Look, children, here the country is not mentioned, but it says African tribal children. That means they belong to Africa. If you pay attention, you can understand. And that's the reason why you have to skim through the passage and find out the answer. Next, the referee was amazed because no one tried to run the race. Right, true or false? Did others, did they not run the race? It is false because they all ran the race. They went together. What does the word Ubuntu mean in the native language? It means I am because we are. What does it mean? Ubuntu means I am because we are. Pick out the word from the passage that means a person who takes part in something. When the word, pick the word. When the question starts with pick the word, You have to look into the passage and answer. You cannot give your own answer. So a person who takes part in something, participants. You have to write participants because in the passage it's not singular but plural. Sharing increases happiness. Support the statement with a sentence from the passage. Sharing increases. How can one be happy when others are sad? So this means by that no one can be sad if everyone shares their happiness with the others. So here sharing increases happiness because it means that one cannot be happy when others are sad. Going on to the next. This is again from your non-detailed children. It's from an interview, the last lesson written by Richard Gordon. Like I told you, it is an autobiography where Dr. Richard Gordon goes to attend an interview to join in St. Swithin's Medical School. I asked for the office of the Dean, Dr. Lionel Loftus, FRCP. A porter showed me into a small, bare, waiting room decorated only with framed black and white pictures of past deans, which ran along the walls like a row of dirty tiles. As there were no chairs, I sat on the edge of a dark, polished table and swung my legs. The surroundings and a week of my father's coaching had made me depressed and nervous. My mind was filled with awkward questions that Dr. Loftus was even then contemplating asking me, and I found to my surprise I would give no satisfactory replies to any of them. I wondered what I should say if he simply asked me why I wanted to be a doctor. The answer was, I suppose, that neither my parents nor myself had the originality to think of anything else. But this didn't seem a suggestion likely to help me into the medical school. Why I underlined the word bare. What does the word bare mean? Bare is empty. You should, when you're reading the passage, you should be aware of all the meanings of difficult words. It's not a difficult word, but some children are unaware of it, so I wanted to bring it to your notice. Now, the first question, what was the narrator looking for? He was looking for the office of the dean. Office of the dean. Then, how was the room? It was a small, bare waiting room. It was a small, bare waiting room. A row of dirty tiles. What are those tiles? They were framed black and white pictures of past deans. They were framed black and white pictures of the past deans. They were all along the wall, but they were so dirty, they looked part of tiles that were there. Why was the narrator nervous? Because he could not give any satisfactory replies to any of the questions which would be asked of him. This you have to give it in your own way because it's not mentioned correctly over here. He knew that he could not give any satisfactory replies to any questions that would be put forward by the dean. Pick out the word which means thinking about. Again, pick out. So, contemplating, thinking about. Pick out the phrase that means the narrator was tense, depressed, and nervous. This tells you that he was tense. So, with this, we have finished this passage. I hope you have understood, children. Let's go on to the next. This is from an unseen passage from your textbook. You will die within a year. Highly skilled physicians told John D. Rockefeller, the first billionaire in the world. By then, he was only 53. Being the richest man in the world, he could buy anything, but could only digest soup and crackers. As he approached death, he awoke one morning with the vague realization of not being able to take any of his wealth with him into the next world. The man who could control the business world suddenly realized that he was not in control of his own life. He was left with only one choice: established a foundation and channelized his assets to hospitals, research, and charity work, which eventually led to the discovery of penicillin, cures for malaria, tuberculosis, and diphtheria. But the most amazing part of Rockefeller's story is that the moment he began to give back, his body's chemistry was altered so significantly that he got better. It looked as if he would die at 50, but he lived to be 98. Beautiful story, isn't it, children? So if you make a lot of sacrifice, God is there to take care of you. Remember this. God has led us into this world, and he is the one who will take us away from the world. All he wants to do is he wants you to lead a happy but moral life, doing things in a legal way, going out of the way to help others. You will notice this in this story where Dr. D. Rockefeller was the richest man. But what happened? The doctor declared that at the age of 53, he was going to die. He had such fatal disease that he could not survive more than a year. Now he was a rich man, he could buy everything. But the saddest part was he could not live long, and more than that, he could not eat anything other than he was only able to digest soup and crackers. How very sad. So having lot of money doesn't mean you get peace and happiness. This is a wrong misconception by most of the people when they think if we are rich, we can be happy. Remember that the happiest person is the poorest man who has nothing to hide. He keeps his doors open and has a very sound sleep, while the rich man doesn't know peace at night because he he'll be wondering who will come and rob his money. So children, taking this example, let's go on to the question and answers. John Rockefeller died at the age of 53. Yes or no? No. He was supposed to have died at the age of 53, but he lived to be 98. So the answer is, sorry, no, it is false. What was his specialty? Can you tell me what was his specialty? He was the richest man in the world. First billionaire in the world. I think I marked a word vague, I think. What do you mean by vague? Something that is not clear. Vague realization. He had a recollection that he could not take his wealth into the next world. Substantiate the statement, we can't buy everything with money, with a sentence from the passage. To take any of his wealth with him into the, of not being able to take any of his wealth with him into the next world. Substantiate, take it from the passage. What realization dawned upon him? What realization? That he was not in control of his own life. He had ample money, but he had no control of over his own life. What was the choice he was left with? What was the choice that he was left with? He established, this you can write in your own words. He established a foundation and channelized his assets to hospitals, research, and charity. You needed write that this led to the discovery of penicillin, cures for malaria, tuberculosis, and diphtheria. You can just write, he established a foundation and all his money was channelized into giving it to the hospitals, research, and charity. Next. What do you think actually enhanced Rockefeller's life? Can you tell children? What actually, because he was supposed to die at the age of 53, but he lived to be 98. It is when you give back. Give back. It's a miracle, but that's what God sees, that when you are in need and are repenting, he will go out of the way to help you. And that's why when he started giving back to the world what all he had earned by giving it to the hospitals who are always in a dire need for equipment, for research work where they were able to find cure for this, tuberculosis, diphtheria, as well as malaria. They discovered penicillin, which is very useful when giving anesthesia. So all this helped him, and probably that's the reason when he started giving back, his life was enhanced. So non-verbal data. This is also part of your comprehension. Section B in junior inter, you had only 2 comprehension passages. One was a passage from non-detail and one was a passage from an unseen passage. But in senior inter, you have 4 passages. One is unseen, one is from non-detail, one is non-verbal data, and one is advertisement. Last year, you all had 5 of them. Table, pie chart, bar graph, tree diagram, and flow chart. So you remember this, children? You had these 5, but it was slightly difficult for you. You had a choice between this 5. Previously, there was route map, but I think last year route map had been deleted and instead flow chart had been given in your syllabus. This, y'all had a choice of converting it into text diagram, converting it into a text or text into diagram. This was last year, where out of the 5, table, pie chart, bar graph, tree diagram, flow chart, you had to convert it either into a text, a diagram into a text, or text into diagram. It was slightly difficult, but you will be very happy to know the same thing in second year can be very easy. It comes in the form of a comprehension. But there is no choice. Comprehension. A diagram is shown. Whether a table, pie chart, bar graph, tree diagram, or a flow chart, one of the diagram is shown and you have to answer any 4 questions. Any 4 questions out of 6. But like I said, do not leave out any objective answer. You never know which answer you thought was right and you write only 4. Unfortunately, if one answer is wrong, you stand to lose a mark. Instead, attempt all the 6. It hardly takes you a second to answer. It is usually clear cut. All the diagram is clearly seen, and usually direct questions are asked based on the diagram and you have to answer them. So attempt all the 6 question and answers when the comprehension is given. Only one non-verbal data will be given, whether it's a table, pie chart, bar graph, tree diagram, or a flow chart, and you have to answer the question and answers. So here, this is a bar graph that shows the favorite subjects of the students. At a glance, you can see maths is the favorite subject of the students, followed by English. Next, social studies and science are at par. Both are equal number of students, 30, while English around 35 and maths 50. The least are other subjects other than social, math, science, and English. The important subjects are mentioned. The remaining auxiliary subjects are not mentioned. So based on, as you look at the picture, immediately you get all the answers. Like, what does the bar graph present? The favorite subject of students. Like I said, you needn't write complete answer, just mention as favorite subject of students. Next. How many subjects are shown in the bar graph? There are 5. There are 5. Social, maths, English, science, English, even others are counted. So you answer it as 5 subjects. Next, name the most popular subject. You remember? It is maths, standing at 50. So you don't even have to look at the picture. If you just skim through it, it should be registered in your mind. Which subject is favorite one with 50 students? Again, you have to write maths. Both number 3rd and number 4th, the answer is same. Which subject is less popular? Science or English? Science or English? Science. Because English 35, while science it is 30. The number of students who like social studies is 30. Social studies 30. Easy, isn't it, children? Unlike last year where you had to write, either draw a diagram or write it in text, comprehension plays a vital role, and in this way you can secure all the full marks. So please don't write only 4 questions. Though they say only 4, attempt all the 6. It's very easy, because in case you attempt 4 and you write a wrong answer, you stand to lose a mark. Here in IPE, we do not penalize the students. Even if they write extra, it is marked, but the marks will be given only as 4. Even if you write 6 answers, you get fully all 6 right, you still get only 4. In this way, you don't lose a mark, and it hardly takes 5 minutes for you to write the answer. So children, read carefully, skim through, and then understand and write. Now here is a bar. Sorry, there's a mistake here, children. It's not a bar graph, but a pie chart. So this is a pie chart. What do you mean by pie? Pie is a round. It's round like a pie, and that is why they say it is a pie chart. Here, it is the favorite beverages of people: coffee, cola, sugarcane juice, and coconut water. And always remember, children, it goes from anti-clockwise, the midpoint, and from there you draw a line, and from here it goes on. anti-clockwise. You would have learned it last year when you drew the diagrams in the clockwise. That is anti. This is clockwise, no? Okay. Clockwise, children. It is not anti-clockwise, but clockwise. Okay? So, the highest is tea with 25%, followed by coffee, which is favorite of 15%. Next comes cola at 12%. Sugarcane juice is enjoyed by 10%. And the least is coconut water at 3%. So, let's answer the questions. What does the pie chart show? The favorite beverages of the people. Okay. Next, how many beverages are taken into account? One, two, three, four, five. Here also it is 5. Next, which is the most preferred beverage? Tea, I think. It is tea. 25%. That is 1/4. People prefer tea. How many people prefer coffee? It is 15%. Which is the least preferred beverage? It is coconut water. Coconut water. Only 3% prefer that. Next, people who prefer tea are 25%. Tea, 25%. So in this way, if you skim through the passage and answer, it should be very easy. The whole thing will not even take you 5 minutes. So children, concentrate on, like I said, if you begin with it, section, keep to that section continuously before going on to the other section. Don't jump from one section to the other. It is always better, whichever you can, there's no hard and fast rule that you have to start from section A. You can start with section B, then go on to A or go on to C. Complete that before coming to the other section. So have a nice day, children. Allah Hafiz.